Hi everyone. He's finally starting to come together here. I got the rear fender mounted with a bracket. Made a curled bracket for around the back end there. Just kind of finishes off that loop. It goes up and around, across and down the other side. It mounts in two holes in the front there. And there's two bolts on top on this plate. There it mounts. It actually worked out quite well, I think, and it doesn't look too much out of place, I don't think. It kind of goes with the rest of it. Throttle cable's hooked up. Still got to figure out how I'm going to operate my enricher, but something will happen, I guess. I'll come up with something by the time it's happening. I think I get my seat started here tomorrow, I guess. I have a seat from the first one, and I'm just going to shorten it and round it out a little bit and mount it on. There'll just be a pipe coming off the center of the fender, and it'll come up and back, and it'll just be very simple and open. I don't want a whole bunch of crap in my way. I want it easy to work on. So far it's going to be very easy. I hope I don't have to, but I did show everyone my tire. It's quite a name. I don't know what it's supposed to mean, but it's a Kenda Millville. No, you maybe can't see that. Sticky, anyway, is what it says. It's a Millville Sticky. I'm sure lots of guys have heard of them. I've never been into dirt motocross or anything, so that stuff's all new to me, but yeah. On the other side, here's a shot from the back end. I just bobbed that fender off just where I thought it looked okay. There was no, I don't think I even measured it. I just cut it off where I wanted it. There's sprocket. I had quite a time with that sprocket. I decided I was just going to use cheapos until I, got some kind of tooth size or whatever figured out. But boy, I'll tell you, that's one of the hardest sprockets. I've machined lots of stuff, and that's one of the hardest sprockets I've ever machined. My tools just couldn't do it. I did get it done, but I'm glad I didn't do it for somebody else because it looked like hell on the inside. Yeah. And the same deal. I made, there's a dimple every inch in that rear pipe. I don't know why I did, I just did it. I wanted it to be different. I guess it's different. Looks a little different than most stuff I've seen. Very open in here, but keep in mind I still have my exhaust, and it's getting tighter. Now there's the old exhaust there. Of course I'm not gonna have them blowing out there, but I thought maybe I might make some kind of, I have to make new pipes, but I might make a scavenger going from one to the other. I'll cut them off on an angle down here somewhere and run them into maybe a 3 or, well, probably a 4-inch is what it would have to have. And just run it back on this side here somewhere. The other side, chain and everything is there, so I think I can get something made, and then I can put a little guard on it for keep from getting burned, I guess, or whatever. I don't like guards. Guards are ugly but necessary. I have to make one for here too. It won't be very big, but it'll certainly cover it anyway. Chain, I'll have to make something. Excuse my squeaky floor. I'll have to make something in here for the chain guard too, I guess. It's important. It's got enough power, it can certainly tear that apart. It's just a number 50 chain. I don't know. But going bigger isn't going to solve any problems. It just makes it a tougher bitch to deal with the front. So I'm just going to stay with 50. To be honest, I don't think I've ever broke a chain. I've wore them out terribly, but I can't really remember ever breaking one. But I'm sure it happens all the time. And I think, seems to me that was 48 teeth. I didn't know where to start, so I'm going to start there, and whatever, I can change. I think that sprocket was only 28 bucks. Mind you, if I charged myself for doing it, it'd probably be a $300 sprocket. Whatever, it's worked out well. I think it's coming together pretty nice, actually. I think, anyway. I'm happy with it. I'm going to run a different filter, of course. I'm not going to run that one on there. Forum friend of mine, Karak, doesn't like that one. He doesn't think it's a very good flow. And he's probably right. It's got a square bottom on it, but I do have a different filter than I'm going to run. It's got a big volume filter. I guess my ignition and cooling are the two biggest things left. Seat's just some time. It's no big deal. You see it from the back end. It's getting longer. It's harder to get it in my camera here. New belt, I think I mentioned that in the last video. But yeah, he's finally starting to look like something. Okay. There we got the seat on. She's mounted. I opted to keep it open in the front, and I just put a stand up. There's a little plate underneath the seat there that it sits on. It's bolted on at the back. And there's a bit of a pillow there just to, I guess, keep me from slipping off the back. I don't know. It should be fine. It fits me well. I don't know. Bigger guys probably would feel fairly large sitting on it, but it's good for me. So I guess one more thing done. Be heading for I just simply bolted it right straight down through the fender, two bolts and 5/16 bolts. That's all it requires. It doesn't need anything in the front. I did put a nut inside this plate and welded it in there, but there's not going to be a need for it, I don't think. I could bolt it down there if I wanted, but I don't think it's necessary. So there you go. One more thing done and out of the way.